Project Zomboid is a hyper-realistic zombie survival game. What if we were to take CaseOh, one of the internet's largest personalities, and see if he could survive the zombie apocalypse? Does CaseOh have what it takes to survive? Or will he crumble under the weight of the circumstances like the chairs he sits upon? Project Zomboid has an in-depth character creation screen that is vital to your survival. You start off by selecting an occupation, followed by a lengthy list of positive and negative traits. To create the perfect CaseOh and Zomboid, I had to do some research to really get into the mind and spirit of a CaseOh. I went straight to the CaseOh fandom page and began absorbing information that was surely 100% accurate. His main interests are eating and video games. He has never exercised a day in his life, and his occupation at the time was a maintenance man for his father's landscaping company, which has gone out of business because CaseOh ate all of the company's possessions.
Lord have mercy.
He was really good at this job because he ate everything that needed to be landscaped. We also learned that CaseOh resides in a trailer in Arkansas with his cats. This makes him one of almost 9 people to have internet in Arkansas. Now equipped with the power of knowledge, we can create our character. Repairman seems to align with Case's skills prior to becoming a full-time streamer. With the job out of the way, we need to start adding some negative traits. Because trust me, there will be a lot of them. Let's list them. Out of shape, overweight, slow learner. Sorry, you have an IRL Arkansas spawn point and that is not the state you want to spawn into for academics. Asthmatic, agoraphobic. I'm going to assume the outside is very scary for most streamers. Conspicuous, hardy appetite, clumsy, and cowardly. Now we need some positive traits to help Case's case for survival. We have cat's eyes, iron gut. Yeah, no food is making Case sick, good luck. Lucky, brawler, cook, stout, and thick-skinned. This list is a lot shorter, but I tried to make CaseOh as accurately as possible. With almost every negative trait you do not want in a zombie apocalypse, the wild CaseOh was born. With a bucket hat on his head, he's ready to take on the challenges of this world. If you're enjoying the video this far, please consider subscribing. My wife and I are expecting our first child relatively soon, so I may miss my next upload. Can you just subscribe so that I can feed my family? Discord link is also below if you need to attack me verbally for the Arkansas slander. Without further ado, let's jump back into the CaseOh. The wild CaseOh wakes up in his double-wide trailer, just like any ordinary day, oblivious that overnight the world around him fell apart completely. He spent the morning watching TV and doom-scrolling on TikTok, until disaster strikes. His belly started to grumble. Remembering his mom brought him an entire container of butter pecan ice cream. Oh, the wild CaseOh loves butter pecan ice cream. He eats that and returns to watching TV until something startles him. What appears to be a zombified version of his neighbor, Brandine, was bashing on his window. Case grabs his meat cleaver, and while very panicked, decides to put sweet old Brandine out of her misery. Remembering all the good times they had at the trailer park shindigs. It's becoming clear that something horrible has happened to everyone around him. Case, stricken with fear, stays indoors and starts microwaving one of his favorite comfort foods, sausage and lard. Never wanting to feel unfull, Case has a nice sausage for his second breakfast. He then returns to watching TV for most of the afternoon, learning useful survival skills by watching the appropriate channels. Later, we observe Case taking a look outside of his mobile home, where he is ambushed by 3 more of his neighbor's zombified corpses. Once close, CaseOh is plenty strong enough to shove the zombies down and take them out one by one. Case returns inside to doom-scroll TikTok before his neighbor, Charisse, breaks in through the window. Frightened, Case ends up taking her out. Realizing he can't stay in his trailer much longer, he'll have to become brave and venture outside. Case barely squeezes in through his neighbor's bathroom window and finds a pipe wrench. A much needed weapon in these trying times. Case is plenty familiar with these from his days working in maintenance. He makes a beeline straight for the fridge and eats some of his neighbor Billy Joe's fresh bologna. Wait, why did the sus sound effect play right there? That is quite literally what happened in the game. He went to the fridge and he ate some bologna from his neighbor Billy Joe's fridge. After rummaging the fridges of a few more trailers, Case decides to take a comforting Arkansas toilet bath. Having looted the trailer park all night, Case winds down by watching a cooking show, getting a snack, and going to bed. He has officially survived the first day of the apocalypse. On day 2, Case was realizing his DoorDash order likely would not be getting fulfilled. So he left a 1-star review and decided to take a short trip to his favorite diner, just through the tree line. After narrowly avoiding disaster against a small group of zombies, Case made it to the diner. He stood at the counter for a while waiting for someone to take his order. But after 10 minutes of waiting, he decided to help himself to some food in the display case. The diner was largely a bust, and Case made his way to the gas station, looking for his usual go-to snacks and candy bars, which is all of them. Case was in heaven, taking all the chips, Little Debbie's, chocolates, and soda he could carry. Just when things couldn't get any better, he found what could possibly be the world's last fresh burrito and corn dog. Eating the first and saving the latter for later. Carrying an entire gas station worth of snacks in his pockets, he went to the factory in search of a vehicle. Since CaseOh is naturally slow and loud, a working car is his best chance at survival. Escaping zombies on foot was just not possible with his current lung capacity. Case's luck was not here for him, as he checked multiple vans but found no key. Lacking the required knowledge to hotwire a car, CaseOh was at a severely vulnerable state. Down on his luck, he wandered into the nearby factory and went to sleep on one of the world's strongest office chairs. He woke up shortly after at 3 a.m. and had some delectable gas station snacks for a midnight meal. Case knew that Farmer Steve's house is not far from his current position. Exiting on the opposite side of the factory, he makes a move for the cover of a nearby forest. While CaseOh is no hide-and-seek champion by any means, he is attempting to not draw attention from the main road. With luck on his side today, he makes it into the field and miraculously clears the fence in a singular leap. He then smartly uses that same fence to dispatch a few zombies. Whoever said anything about Arkansawyers being unintelligent, wait, they really call themselves that? Arkansawyers? Can I get an Arkansas resident to confirm Google is saying this is true? Feeling utterly tired from the couple-block journey, Case fights his way into Farmer Bob's house. His first true feeling of safety, since he ate that container of butter pecan ice cream in a singular bite. Continuing a massive streak of good luck on day 3, Case finds a steak in the freezer and begins cooking it right away. He proceeds to eat it for a lovely and well-deserved second dinner. He lays down for bed feeling full and accomplished, with a feeling of hope that he just might survive this apocalypse. Early in the morning of day 5, CaseOh, bored from the lack of new TikToks on his feed, decided to venture towards town to look for a car. After a few close encounters with the undead, Case was exhausted, and needed to rest and wait for daylight before venturing further. Luckily, he was unharmed. After making a rash decision to leave his safe farmhouse in the dead of the night, the lack of social media dopamine has taken a drastic toll on his mental health, leading him to seek new ways to keep his mind occupied. Case eventually made it to the town bar and found a car with the keys in it. At this point, the car negates all of Case's negative traits. If he's found by a horde, the car makes for an easy escape route. His lack of physical traits mean very little when he can speed away in a car. After looting the bar quickly, Case heads home in his new vehicle. Things are actually looking great for Case. He has shelter, water, transportation, and even a couple of guns he found in the neighboring farmhouses. Case only has one issue: food. CaseOh consistently needs to keep eating in order to maintain his pristine body. You what? Constantly having to raid houses puts CaseOh in some slight danger, as every second spent in the apocalypse presents some risk. On day 6, Case filled the car up with gas and went to scavenge anything left in the gas station. Later that night, Disaster struck. No. In Project Zomboid, there's a chance for a helicopter to go and look for survivors. And while this sounds like a positive thing, I can assure you it is not. The helicopter is incredibly loud and attracts massive hordes of the undead to your location. The best thing to do is wait it out until the chopper flies away. You have to wait in a room with curtains or a room that doesn't have windows. This left Case stuck in the bathroom, eating canned chili and drinking some wine he got from the bar with the occasional sip of toilet water. If this is not the perfect way to spend a night in Arkansas, I don't know what is. Once he was positive the helicopter had moved on, CaseOh went downstairs and discovered he had a new roommate. After dispatching him, Case went to remove the body from his lovely farmhouse, and Case quickly was surrounded by a few zombies. He really didn't realize how many zombies had flooded into the area overnight with the helicopter. With broken windows and a small horde of zombies busting down the back door, Case grabbed what he could and ran out the front door. Had Case not found this car the other day, he would have easily turned into an all-you-can-eat zombie buffet. In an absolute frenzied panic, Case attempted to flee in his car. The dark and rainy night proved difficult, and the car took some damage, but Case eventually escaped, and an area he once called home was again no longer safe. After driving quite some time, Case found a new home off the beaten path, far away from the disaster that occurred at the farmhouse. After the day's heroics, he also cooked salmon as a second dinner to eat. One of CaseOh's codes of honor is that he never eats any fruits or vegetables, so any fresh meat is always welcomed. A somewhat pressing issue was that the car had taken substantial damage from the helicopter escape, and CaseOh hitting a few undead pedestrians in his travels. Because of this, Case decided to try and learn some useful skills in repairing cars. During his looting of the neighboring houses, he practiced on any broken down cars he found. This was essential, as his car was his only lifeline, and the only way he could realistically make it to the nearest Taco Bell. While Case hates being outside, he does love fishing, prompting him to take a trip to a local bait shop to try to find some gear. Here he quickly runs into trouble as the surrounding area is busier than the Browns, planning on how they're going to have another losing season. Case makes it out with only a non-fatal scratch on his arm. One concerning issue is that the car's engine is beginning to stall from all the damage it has taken. Case was too excited to sleep much that night. He went out in the wee hours of the morning to try his new fishing gear. Many folks don't know it, but CaseOh loves the fish. This excitement turned into tragedy, as Case was so into his fishing session that he did not hear a zombie sneaking up behind him. The zombie bit CaseOh on the left hand, but by a stroke of luck, the virus was not transmitted through the attack. That would have been a death sentence. With a deep laceration on his hand, Case retreated home to give himself some first aid treatment. In his pain, he accidentally committed a sin, burning the sausage that he was cooking. Not wanting to waste a morsel of food, he ate it anyway. Perhaps due to frustration, Case grabbed a handgun he found and went out to look for a zombie to take his unconsolable rage out on. Icing that zombie in cold blood before driving off in his car. Time and time again, Case's never-ending appetite has caused him to be on the move, needing to loot more to sustain himself. He stumbled upon a general store with an upstairs living area. A perfect setup, stocked fully with food and soda. A small horde of zombies followed in after Case's stench. I mean, he has only been bathing in toilet water. But shockingly, a moment of history happened. Case actually outsmarted the zombies.
This is a moment in history! Take a picture!
By looping out the back door of the general store, even stopping halfway through to eat a bag of chips, while the 0 IQ undead stumbled away. Maybe he's finally figuring out how to survive. After a relaxing and fulfilling night of eating the bounty from the general store, it was time to head out for the day. The car eerily took 2 tries to start. Let's hope that's not foreshadowing anything. Trying to loot another fishing store for some fishing redemption, Case tripped the store's alarm. It's okay. It's not like he was going to catch anything anyway. Let's just leave. Things have been going great. In the apocalypse though, things can get bad, and they can get bad quickly.
You serious?
When attempting to loot another house one morning, he tripped, trying to jump over a railing, injuring his foot, and more importantly, losing the bucket hat off his head. Zombies quickly flooded the area, causing Case to have to retreat. Case fans will know that CaseOh cannot survive without a hat or a hood covering his hair. Case waited for the morning and tried to pull the car around and block the zombies from entering. He slowly ran over and tried to grab his hat, but the zombies swarmed, faster than that Taco Bell from earlier, exiting your body. Case fumbled the pickup and he leapt back into his car to reset. But he wasn't going to give up. He is getting his hat back. Case armed up, loading his pistol with bullets, ready to go out in a blaze of glory for this bucket hat, his best friend in this apocalypse. Thankfully for the zombies, Case couldn't shoot water if he was standing in a boat, only grazing a few zombies. This attempt proved wildly unsuccessful. Or did it? With all the gunshots, every zombie in the area was pouring to the front street. Using the proved 1000 IQ, CaseOh looped the car through the back, snuck into the house, and grabbed his trusty hat. And he stopped for a quick snack when he saw they had some yogurt in the fridge. The hat is saved. Our car, on the other hand, is not doing well. The car is running about as well as a two-legged horse. And Case tried to find some spare parts in the junkyard, but without the necessary skills, he couldn't really improve the vehicle's condition. After a horde of zombies showed up out of nowhere, trying to pin him inside the scrapyard, Case had to take a risk and stick with the car that had gotten us all this way. But this is where Case's luck finally ran out. After sideswiping a street pole, it put the final nail into the coffin of our trusty car. With the car not making it more than 20 feet before stalling out, CaseOh was forced to abandon it, near a growing crowd of the undead, all wearing their bibs ready for the CaseOh buffet. We tried to seek shelter in the bar from earlier, but there were just too many of them. Trapped behind the bar counter and running out of options, Case was panicked and overwhelmed. His entire life flashed before his eyes. All those TikTok compilations, and everyone he banned from his chat, meaningless in a time like this. The zombies broke through and surrounded Case, leading to his eventual doom. Lasting almost 2 weeks, I would like to think this shows that CaseOh has a fighter's chance to survive in a zombie apocalypse. Case was a tank, taking out almost 200 zombies in 2 weeks. His biggest downfall being having to constantly stay on the move to search for more calories to keep his hunger satisfied. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed and made it this far, consider subscribing. And click another video to show the YouTube algorithm who is really boss. A Discord link is below, and we stream a few days a week on Twitch. That link is also below. If you enjoyed the video, it always makes me smile to read your comments, so don't hold back on how poorly I played or how bad I portrayed the almighty CaseOh.